And last night was another night like that for Atlanta. They got good starting pitching. They had lockdown relief. And they again used the long ball in scoring all of their runs as they beat the Diamondbacks 4-2. So tonight, let's hope for the same recipe. The Braves and Diamondbacks meet on a hot Saturday night in Atlanta. Indeed, it has turned out to be a hot, steamy night in Atlanta as the fans are filing into Turner Field for the second of 3 games between the Atlanta Braves and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And all season long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. And a very pleasant good evening to you, everybody. Joe Simpson along with Tom Glavine, and the Braves had their hitting shoes on last night. Had some long balls.
Yeah, they did. The long ball was a big part of their offense last night, and turned out to be another good night.
And our SunTrust solid performer tonight is one of the guys who hit a home run last night, and he is red hot, and that's the veteran Chipper Jones. His last 16 games since the DL, he has been tearing it up.
Well, we've talked all year long about what Chipper Jones' presence means in the lineup to the Atlanta Braves and what it means to opposing pitchers. And now, for really the first time in a long time, we've got a healthy Chipper Jones in the middle of that lineup. And that really means good things for the Braves. It presents a ton of problems for the opposing pitchers. And look, when Chipper Jones is swinging the bat and he's hitting home runs to both sides of the field, the Braves really have something going. And right now this offense is clicking.
And he will switch around tonight and bat right-handed. That's because our pitching matchup tonight includes a young man making his major league debut for the Diamondbacks, and he's a lefty. That's Wade Miley, and he'll go against Brandon Beachy. And we'll talk about the pitchers when we come back.
Brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, and by KFC.
Braves will try to make it 6-3 on the current homestand as they take on the Diamondbacks again tonight here at Turner Field. Joe and Tom back with you, and they'll do it against a young man from Louisiana who's making his Major League debut tonight, Tom, and he's always been a Braves fan.
Yeah, he has. Young left-hander Wade Miley is making his Major League debut tonight for the Diamondbacks. 2010 Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year, ranked 8th best prospect in the Diamondback organization by Baseball America. He split time between AA and AAA this year, but in 8 starts in Reno, 4-1 with a 3.64 ERA. Really upped his strikeout numbers in Reno, and rumor has it that's due to the development of his changeup that he's been working on. And so it'll be interesting to see him tonight. And for the Braves, solid right-hander Brandon Beachy is going out there for his 19th start of the year. He's been solid all year long, but really good in his last 5 starts. 2-0 with a 2.67 ERA, and really has established himself in this rotation as a young guy who's really reliable. Right now, he's one of the horses in this rotation, and time in and time out, he's given the Braves a chance to win, and we look for that again tonight.
And he's always a guy who likes to take the ball, and that's what I like to watch about Brandon Beachy. Well, it should be a good contest, certainly interesting with a young man making his Major League debut, but the Braves are playing great baseball right now. They've won 11 of their last 15, and they'll try to add to it tonight as they take on the Diamondbacks at Turner Field.
Blimpie, by the Home Depot, by SunTrust, and by Hyundai.
Had a little rain shower pass through just a few minutes ago, but no problems and don't need the tarp. Fans are just fine, and we've got a minute here before first pitch. So let's check out our Powerade Power Rankings, and that has to do with the wild card tonight, Mr. Glavin, and the Braves picked up a game last night in those standings.
Yes, they did. They lead the wild card now by 7 games over San Francisco, 8 over St. Louis, both of whom lost last night, and 7.5 back in the division thanks to the Phillies' late inning implosion last night. So it was a good night last night.
All around for the Braves. They are 7.5 games back. Let's take a look at the Suzuki starting lineup for the Diamondbacks tonight. They've lost 3 straight. For Kirk Gibson, here's how they line up with Willie Bloomquist again at the top of the order. Gerardo Parra in left field batting second. Then Justin Upton, who drove in their 2 runs. Montero, the cleanup hitter. We'll get our first look for a full game at Paul Goldschmidt, great big first baseman. Then Burrows, Johnson, Cowgill, and Miley against Brandon Beachy.
Yes, they'll be facing right-hander Brandon Beachy, who's making his 19th start on the year. 5-2, 3.43 ERA. Every time I see this guy pitch, I make note of his walk-to-strikeout ratio, which is just phenomenal. Pitched pretty well the last 2 times out. He's kind of been the victim of a little bit of bad luck. The bullpen's given up some leads for him. Otherwise, he'd have 2 more wins under his belt. But as I said in the Open, gets better and better each time out, and has really established himself as one of the go-to guys in this rotation right now.
Let's check out the defense behind him tonight. In the outfield, Prado back in the lineup. Bourne and Constanza in center and right, respectively. Jones, Gonzalez, Ugla, and Freeman from third to first. And David Ross gets a start behind the plate, giving Brian McCann a night off. Last night, Martin got the night off, so Freddie trying to find spots for his regulars. It's expected that Chipper will take a day off tomorrow in the day game after the night game. We're set to go. And Brendan Beachy has never faced the Diamondbacks before, and his first pitch is in there for a strike. To Willie Bloomquist, who had a good night last night. 2 for 3 on the night and 2 walks. And Beachy quickly ahead of him, 0-2. Here are the umpires for tonight's game. Bill Miller is behind the plate. I think he's a very good ball and strike umpire. James Hoy is at first. Phil Cuzzy is at second. And Tom Hallion down at third. Did a good job behind the plate last night and survived that shot to the neck on a foul tip. To short. 1 out. That's how the game starts. The Diamondbacks are 69 and 56. They're in first place. Got some help from Houston last night as the Astros handed the Giants another shutout.
Imagine that.
They just cannot score. So the Diamondbacks still 2.5 up out west. Gerardo Parra, the batter, 0 for 3 last night, 0 for his last 7. Curveball missed. Beachy's last start, no decision against the Cubs on this homestand. Pitched 5 1/3, only gave up 2 runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts, but got no decision.
I think a couple of things to start looking for out of Brandon. Number one, he's I think in his last start, his pitch count got a little bit high because it seemed like he was getting 2 strikes on guys a lot, wasn't able to make his pitch to put him away. So I think that's one thing he's going to have to learn how to do a little bit better, is get a quicker decision and then getting through the lineup for the 3rd time. I think that's something that he's really going to have to continue to work on in order to really establish himself as that kind of guy in the rotation. His last 3 starts, he's gotten into to the 6th, 7th inning, had a tough time getting through those innings, and I think that's something that he's going to have to find a way to do a little bit better job of.
2-2 foul back. Is that a little bit of a mental wall too that you got to get past?
I think so, a little bit. When it happens a few times, yeah, you start getting to that point where you're like, okay, here I am again. Now don't mess this up. But I think too, it's sometimes that you think the 3rd time through you got to start doing some things differently. And if they're not showing you they're going to beat you at your game, you really don't.
Strikes out Parra, his first of the night. Went upstairs for that one. I'm curious too what your thoughts are, Tom, with respect to some deep, not necessarily deep counts, but taking him a while to put guys away once he gets ahead of them. Is that because he has 4 good pitches but not 1 great one that he can go to for the out?
Partly. I mean, you know, when you watch him pitch, he gets a ton of swings and misses on his fastball.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of swing and misses on that good curveball. I think part of it is just having that mentality that, hey, it's 0-2. I want to put this guy away right here. And whatever that pitch is at a given game or a given at-bat, recognizing what that pitch is. I mean, that's one thing that I learned from Greg Maddux. Is, you know, hey, it's 0-2. Let's put this guy away. You don't have to necessarily waste a pitch. You try to waste a pitch that maybe he'll swing at. And again, I think that takes a little bit of time to have that confidence to where you're confident in making an 0-2 pitch or a 2-strike pitch and not worried about trying not to make a mistake in those situations.
2-0 to Justin Upton. 2-1. 94 on that fastball.
See, and even that right there, I mean, that's to me the remarkable thing with him. There's a 2-0 hitter's count, 94-mile-an-hour fastball that really was basically down the middle and said, here you go ahead and hit it. And guys swing and miss that pitch all the time.
Out of play, 2-2. I keep saying part of it, and I've had some feedback from hitters and opponents or hitting coaches of opposing teams who say the arm action sometimes gets the hitters too, because it's so fast that the pitches are on him a little faster than they expect.
They are, and part of that too is his delivery. His delivery is so free and easy that it kind of gives you the illusion that, all right, there's nothing coming here, and then all of a sudden the ball's on top of you in a hurry.
Just got a piece of that to stay alive at 95. Brandon's a strong kid, 6'3", 215, 24 years old, out of Kokomo, Indiana. Curveball, one hopper past Alex, who thought he should have had it. That'll be a base hit for Upton.
He fouled off a couple of good pitches to keep the at bat alive, and got a breaking ball right there that maybe caught a little bit more of the middle of the zone than Brandon wanted, but Upton put a good swing on it, and Gonzo, as we've seen so often this year, almost made a great play. Like I said, we're more surprised when he doesn't.
Exactly. Runner at first, 2 out for Montero. Miguel last night 0 for 3 with a walk, hitting .267. Heads up, comes a bat. Like some gentleman put his hand up and it ricocheted off his hand and kept everybody from getting hit.
Yeah, you hold your breath every time you see that, but thankfully everybody seems to be okay up there.
Nice
job,
job,
nice
sir.
Deflection. Ooh, that guy almost got it in the teeth. But yeah, the impressive part of Montero's night last night was throwing out Born and Constanza. Showed a good arm last night behind the plate.
Sure did. Very accurate throws, and the first one was one in which he had to cross over and catch in the inside corner from a left-handed hitter. But he's struggling a little bit right now. 4 for his last 24. The Diamondbacks in this 3-game losing streak have lost 9-2, 4-1, and 4-2. So they're not scoring many runs suddenly on this road trip. One and two. That one misses high to even the count. Big Paul Goldschmidt is on deck.
You're not kidding when you say big.
Runner goes, pitch hooked down the line, and a fair ball right on the chalk. Upton can really run, and he's going to be waved home by Matt Williams, and he's going to score without a throw. Montero was fooled, and he got out in front, but he kept it fair, and with the runner moving, the Diamondbacks are on the board first, 1-0.
Well, sometimes you make a good pitch and you have bad results. As you said, Montero was fooled on that changeup right there, but was able to somehow keep it fair. I think it hit the chalk line, and a little bit of a bad break for Brandon Beachy and the Braves.
1-0 D-backs, and here is Goldschmidt, who got called up August 1st. And 4 homers already, 10 RBIs since he got called up. And he sends one in the air to center field, but not too deep. And Bourne puts it away to end the inning. But Arizona strikes first tonight. They get a run on 2 hits after 2 were out. We go to the bottom of the first, 1-0 Arizona. For the first inning, here's the Suzuki starting lineup as we go to the bottom of the first for Freddie Gonzalez. You'll have Michael Bourne at the top, then Martin Prado back in his 2 spot. Chipper moves up to the 3rd spot. Dan Ugla will be the cleanup hitter, then Freddie Freeman and David Ross, who gets to start behind the plate. Constanza, Gonzalez, and Beachy round out the order.
And for Arizona, young left-hander Wade Miley making his major league debut. There's his overall numbers this year between AA and AAA, 8-3 overall. High prospect for the Diamondbacks, and see if he can settle in.
His fastball is rated in the low 90s. Pretty good slider, curveball, and changeup. Michael Bourne led off with a homer last night. He was 2 for 4. Word on Miley was that last night he was nervous. Today he was very nervous about this start, and he's working rapidly. And with him out there, let's take a look at our Home Depot know-how question of the game, and it is timely, Tommy, because Alex Driscoll from Birmingham wants to know, what can a rookie pitcher do to calm his nerves before his first start? And he just struck out the first batter he faces.
Yeah, strike out Michael Bourne. That'd be a good way to do it. I don't know. Look, I was always nervous before every start with the anticipation of what's going to happen, what you're going to do, things that have been going on. And surely as a rookie, he's feeling all those emotions right now. And he'll get to all the cliches of, hey, just relax, go out there, pitch your game, do what you're doing in AAA. That's what got you here and all those things. And he'll try to rely on that to some extent. But I think more than anything, he's going to have to try and find a way to just kind of eliminate where he is and focus on trying to make pitches just like he did in the minor leagues.
Prado's behind 0-2. Martin did not play last night, hitting .272 with 11 homers. Where was your first start?
Houston, in the Astrodome. They were in the pennant race, and I remember standing out there thinking, what am I doing here? So, and then you go through the whole, this next at-bat that he's got coming up when Chipper Jones stands in the box, he's going to be standing on the mound. He's going to have to pinch himself thinking, oh, my God, I'm pitching to Chipper Jones. How did I get here? I watched this guy as a kid. I mean, and you go through that every time you face somebody like that.
Martin sends a fly ball to left. On the run, Parra, but he can't get there. And Martin's got a base hit. Big turn, but he'll hold there. And here is that at-bat you're talking about. And for you folks that didn't see it or hear it in the opening comments, this guy, Miley, a huge Braves fan growing up in Hammond, Louisiana. And his favorite Brave was a guy named Tom Glavine.
Well, here's where he'll have to calm himself, like I say, being a big Braves fan and growing up watching the Braves, and here he is facing Chipper Jones. He has to, again, find a way to get himself out of the moment and more into trying to make pitches.
He's supposed to be a guy who gets a lot of ground balls. He doesn't give up a lot of homers. In fact, in his minor league career, as you see Chipper's numbers for the year, in his minor league career, Miley, 422 innings and only 24 homers allowed. That's really good.
Really good.
Change up, 1-1.
And that's the pitch that they've been talking about, that he's starting to develop and is starting to come along for him. And the big reason why his strikeout numbers jumped so high from AA to AAA, had 56 strikeouts in 54 innings in AAA versus 46 in 75 innings in AAA.
Chipper lays off the sinker, 2-1. Talked about Chipper's good work in his last 10 games and in the work he's put in since the disabled list, and he attributes having some sound legs under him, being able to drive the ball with a firm base.
I think pretty much every athlete in every sport will tell you that there's not a lot you can do if you don't have your legs underneath you. And Chipper with his knee injury, battling that, and then coming back and trying to get back into playing shape. Now, he feels like he has his legs under him and he's swinging the bat well. To short, softly hit. They'll only get one.
That's the second out of the inning and will bring Ugla to the plate. But for Chipper, a big announcement yesterday that he is going to be back next year for sure.
Well, that's good news for the Braves, and certainly I can't say I blame him. I mean, if he feels healthy and he feels like he can still play, looking around at this Braves team and the young players that they have here, look, I think everybody obviously is excited about this year, but I think excited about this team for the future, and I'm sure Chipper wants to be a part of that, and I don't blame him.
Dan Ugla takes a strike. He's hitting .228, 27 homers, but 0 for his last 8. 0 for 3 with a walk last night and a couple of strikeouts. Puts a charge in that one, though. Deep left field. Gone. Home run. Two to 1 Atlanta. Number 28 for Dan.
Well, we talked about the lack of home runs that Miley gave up in the minor leagues, but there's a fastball where he tried to go in, threw it right down the middle. And I think that's one thing that as a young pitcher you struggle with, is the tendency when you're trying to go in, you try to overthrow it.
Freddie Freeman, the batter. 1 for 4 last night. He's hitting .293. And he drives one to left center field, but Parra had him played that way, and he'll make the catch. So Wade Miley gets his first big league strikeout. He gives up his first big league homer. We've played an inning. It's 2 to 1 Atlanta.
It's another one of those shutdown innings that we talk about so often. So look for Brandon to go out there, be aggressive, get after these guys, and give his bats another quick opportunity.
And the first inning at times has been a problem for Brandon. In fact, he's given up twice as many runs in the first inning as any other inning that he's pitched. That was the 13th first inning run. John Burroughs pinch hit last night, walked, and scored a run. Son of Jeff Burroughs, the former Atlanta outfielder. Sends a ground ball to first, and Freddie will take it himself. Quickly one out. And Kelly Johnson returned to Turner Field and had himself quite a night last night, and he needed it.
Yeah, good home cooking. Struggling coming in and certainly turned things around, at least in the short term last night. 3 for 4 last night. Snapped an 0 for 14 slide on the road for him, so that was a welcome night for Kelly.
Raised his average 5 points. And that may not seem like much right now, but when you're having a tough year with the average, any improvement is welcome. One and one. Good off-speed pitch there. Kelly's 29 years old now, out of Austin, Texas. And he and his wife Lauren still live in Roswell. That's out of play. Two and two. Kelly had his best year last year as a major leaguer. He had 284 for the Diamondbacks, 26 homers, 71 RBIs, but struck out a bunch, 148 times, and he fans again there. Is that a changeup?
I think it was a slow curveball. He tried to throw him the hard down breaker of the pitch before. Kelly laid off and came back with a little bit more of a slower 12-6.
Mm-hmm.
That I think looked good out of the hand to Kelly, but the break got him.
Here's Colin Rydam Cowgill. 0 for 2 last night, 0 for his last 6. Out of University of Kentucky. One and two the count. Brandon looking for his third strikeout. Instead, a grounder to short. That's the same as an out. Alex handles it in a 1-2-3 inning for Beachy. Braves up a run as we go to the bottom of the second.
Jameson Inn, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
Big crowd on hand tonight for Game 2 of this series between the Braves and the Diamondbacks. Atlanta got a 2-run homer from Dan Uggla in the first. They lead it 2-1, and David Ross will lead off the second inning. First start for David since Brian McCann came back from the DL.
Did a nice job filling in.
Sure did. And had been 4 for his last 8 prior to that time off. These guys drop a bunt down, and Montero is on it like a cat. He throws him out. Miguel Montero has been very impressive in this series defensively already.
Yeah, Rossi had a chance if that had rolled a little bit further, and Miley had to field it, but once Montero got a hold of it, he was not going to outrun that arm.
Kind of died right there in that dirt in front of the plate, too.
Yeah, good idea. With a pitcher out there making his major league debut and coming off giving up a big home run ball. The last thing he's thinking about is fielding a bunt. So, element of surprise, just didn't quite get it out far enough.
Jose Constanza takes a strike. 0 for 3 last night, but he's had good luck against lefties. He's 11 for 22 against left-handed pitching. And he tried to bunt.
And he hadn't taken too many offers since he's been up here, so he's been a huge boost to this offense.
Still hitting .377. And lines one softly to center field. Another base hit. He's hitting better than .500 now against lefties.
Right on cue. And I think that's one thing that you figure out and learn a little bit as a young pitcher. That slow breaking ball. While you might get guys in the minor leagues to not be able to wait on that ball so well, guys in the big leagues are a little bit better at staying back a little bit longer and using their hands and flipping that pitch. So you got to throw it with a little bit more break or a little bit better location.
Alex Gonzalez stands in and takes a strike. He was 1 for 3 last night. Well, that was something I was going to ask you a minute ago after Uggla hit that homer. And that is, did you rapidly find out that you'd think you'd make a pretty good pitch, and not only would the guy hit it, but he'd hit it a long way? Just from bat speed and strength difference in this level?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there were pitches that you were maybe threw with 2 strikes in the minor leagues and got guys to swing at that you'd try a few times up here and you'd be like, oh, they're not swinging at that so much here, if at all. And then sometimes, yeah, you'd make that good pitch and it's like, man, guys in the minor leagues can't hit that, and these guys are driving that pitch. So that's why, that's where as a young pitcher, you have to fight that tendency to try and be even better and even more perfect on every pitch, and sometimes just recognize that, you know what, you got to tip your hat to guys sometimes because they hit good pitches every now and then up here.
And they're here for a reason. Runner goes. Grounder to third, a little bit of an in-between hop, but handled by Burrows, and he throws out Gonzalez. Runner at second and 2 out. Well, after the home run by Uggla last inning, Miley got a quick visit from his shortstop, the veteran Willie Bloomquist, who came in, and I think he made him laugh a little bit by just saying, you know what, got that one out of the way.
Well, either he said, you got that one out of the way, or, man, did he hit that one a long way. Either way, I mean, I thought the same thing. I thought, well, okay, that's either going to rattle him or it's going to calm him down. So, it could be one of those things that you realize, as a pitcher, you realize, okay, here I am. I'm in the big leagues now. Let's go to work.
Brandon Beachy looking for his second hit of the year. Hitting a cool .033.
Not quite as good as the D-backs pitcher last night, Hudson, but he's getting there.
One and one the count. Good cut, but it came up empty. 1 and 2.
Going back to the whole nervousness thing. It's like I said, I was always nervous every start. I remember I had a pitching coach tell me later in my career, it's okay to be nervous just so long as you have the butterflies flying in formation. You don't want them flying all over the place.
Curveball fouled off. Was Maddox nervous? Do you remember him being
If he
edgy?
was, he didn't show it. I mean, he was a little bit different the day that he pitched. A little bit quieter, which I think most guys tend to be. You're not in that goofing around mode and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how guys aren't. I mean, it's the anticipation, and then once you get out there, everything just kind of settles down.
Hard hit, base hit. Brandon Beachy, there's hit number 2. Parra comes up throwing. He'll never get him. 3-1 Atlanta. Brandon Beachy's first big league RBI. Woohoo!
And at any stage of your career, a 2-out base hit to the pitcher to score a run is going to drive you nuts as a pitcher. And similar to Uggla, try to go in on him, and that was a better pitch than the one that he threw to Uggla, but still not on the inner part of the plate that he wanted. And Beachy put a good swing on it, and Parra traveled a little bit, and
yeah, he
didn't quite get it out of his glove.
It's a good description. Michael Bourne, the batter, struck out looking his first time. And Parra had trouble getting it out of his glove. One and one. Michael came into the game hitting .270 overall against left-handed pitching. Good curveball there, 1-2. Miley was a sandwich pick between the first and second round in 2008 by the Diamondbacks out of Southeast Louisiana. And he gets Miley gets Bourne for the second time, but the Braves add to their lead. We've played 2. It's 3-1 Atlanta. As we go to the third inning, let's take a look at our AT&T Uverse TV trivia question. It's Gonzo, Louis Gonzalez, who's the Diamondbacks' all-time leader in stolen bases. We got deked last night.
Yeah.
It was a setup on that 25-25 thing. So I'm thinking this is a deke too.
Has to be. He leads in every other offensive category in Diamondbacks history, so I'm saying that he's not the answer, but
again, Steve Finley might be a guy. Or remember Junior Spivey?
Junior Spivey, yep. Yeah, I don't know if Finley played there long enough, but
Orlando Hudson. We'll keep guessing until we get a hint. Wade Miley gets his first big league at bat right here. Bats left, throws left. He's hacking at the first one.
and sends it foul. He hit .225 in his at-bats in AA and AAA combined, so not bad.
Yeah, handling the bat a little bit.
Another good cut. 1-2. One of the reasons he got called up, and they considered some other options, and one was maybe to move Micah Owings into this spot to take over for Jason Marquis, who was injured. But this guy was on a hot streak. Pitched one of his, arguably his best game of the year, and one of the best of his minor league career in his last start.
Pitched one of his better starts his last time out. He was the furthest along in terms of their prospects as far as development and being at the AAA level. So again, talking to some of their guys, yeah, they have other options. Their #1 pick this year, the kid out of UCLA, has been throwing the ball real well, but I think he's only an A ball. So this was the best of their choices.
And he fans on a good hook. Third strikeout for Brandon Beachy. There's his dad, Wendell Miley. Big thrill for his dad. Strikeout or not, doesn't matter. His son's pitching in the big leagues tonight.
That's right. Dream come true. Now it's just a matter of taking the opportunity, doing something with it, and giving yourself the opportunity to stay here.
He said he walked out on the field here yesterday early, nobody at the ballpark, and he said that as Bloomquist takes a strike, he said, I was trying to take it all in and looking at places at Turner Field that I've seen my whole life from television, and he said I just couldn't wait to see it with people in it. So
yeah, he was probably here at 11 o'clock yesterday morning, I bet.
Did he go? He did, says James Hoy. 0-2 to Bloomquist. Well, he's out of Bremerton, Washington. Good cut at that fastball. Still 0-2.
That's a good pitch right there, following up the breaking ball away with a fastball in on the hands. Now he can either double up back in there or go back to the slider or even a fastball away now that he's got him conscious in. Pitch, he laid off it.
Couldn't lay off that one, and Ross hangs on to the foul tip. And with 2 outs, attention dads. Saturday, September 3rd, the Braves are hosting Father-Daughter Day at the ballpark. Come share a Braves game with your little girl. Each package comes with a discounted ticket, Father-Daughter Day t-shirts, and a pre-game parade. For tickets, visit braves.com/fatherdaughter.
Or if your little girl's not so little anymore.
You can still
come.
Mm-hmm.
She'll always be
She's
a
always,
little girl.
You bet. Can vouch for that one. Parra struck out his first time and sends that one into the seats, 1-1. Brandon Beachy's already had a good month of August so far. 3 starts. You talked about those 2 no decisions. He's 1-0 in the other one. 17 innings, 4 walks, 22 strikeouts coming into this one. And he gets ahead of Parra 1-2.
Yeah, I know I sound like a broken record every time I do a game when he pitches, but you can't help but look at that walk to strikeout ratio. I mean, it's so good, and you know, he doesn't beat himself with the walk. He strikes guys out at a pretty high clip, and it's very impressive, particularly for a young pitcher, to have that kind of ratio.
In on his hands, over by the dugout. Chipper will have a look. He's got room. 7 in a row set down by Beachy. We go to the bottom of the third. Atlanta up 3-1.
By Ford, by Checkers, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and by Georgia Power.
Bottom half of the third inning. Braves have a 2-run homer from Dan Uggla and an RBI 2-out single from the pitcher Brandon Beachy to lead 3-1. Heart of the order up for the Braves here in the third. Prado, Chipper, and Uggla. Martin singled his first time up. And takes a look at a changeup. Braves are 20-14 since the All-Star break. And more recently, they've won 11 out of their last 15. Out of play. And I would call that, it may not be spectacular. That catch was. Wow.
Did he catch that ball?
Yeah.
I saw him go up, but I didn't think he came down with it, but that was a heck of a play.
Man, oh man. Take a look at this catch.
Woo. Nice. It's like a receiver pulling that thing in.
His buddy was wondering where the ball went. Down the line, fair ball. Martin thought about a double his first time up. Now he's going to have one. A leadoff double to start the third. I was going to say, Tom, that it may not be spectacular play right now, but it sure is steady.
No, it is. I mean, that gets back to the whole notion of what your mindset is, and your mindset is to win series, win 2 out of 3. It's nice to go on those runs where you win 7 in a row or 10 in a row. It looks great. It sounds impressive. But over the course of time, that's how you sneak up on people. That's how you gain ground on people, is winning 2 out of 3 time and time again. And the next thing you know, like you said, you win 11 out of 15.
Chipper fouls one back, reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning.
I mean, in this day and age, with the teams that you're seeing, with the pitching you're seeing, it's tough to get that 8, 9, 10 game in a row winning streak. It's much more likely, like I said, if you're going to win series and just put together that kind of streak.
1-1. The Brewers have that kind of spectacular streak working right now. They've won 20 out of 22, and last I saw, they were beating the Mets again today.
I know the Mets had closed the gap on that, so I don't know. I think it was 7-6 late. I don't know how it ended.
Line caught. Burrows with no play at second, but he robbed Chipper of a base hit. One down. And Dan Ugla comes to the plate. He's the subject. And the home runs are the subject of our Sunshine House leaderboard.
Well, no surprise with all the home runs he's been hitting lately. Braves second in the National League since the All-Star break. It's become a much more prevalent part of their offense, and we saw it last night.
3 homers for 4 runs last night. And here's his homer tonight.
Fastball in, mistake, missed, and he didn't miss it.
He's 28th of the year.
Yeah, the Mets had come back to take the lead in that game against Milwaukee, and then Milwaukee scored 4 in the 9th.
Is that right? Wow. Seems whatever they need, they come up with. James Hoy again says, yes, he did. Ugla's home run is 28, ties him for 3rd in the league with Lance Berkman of the Cardinals and Matt Kemp of the Dodgers. Pujols has 30, Mike Stanton of Florida now at 29.
Who's your MVP if it ends today?
Maybe one of those guys in Milwaukee.
Braun or Fielder?
Yeah, Braun's 2nd in the league in hitting. 2nd in runs scored. Wow, high strike call there by Bill Miller. 2nd strikeout, make it the 3rd strikeout for Miley.
Yeah, a little. I mean, it's borderline. It
Yeah, it wasn't high.
felt high, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it looked high because of Dan's reaction.
Right. Braves got a 2-out RBI hit in the 2nd inning from Beachy. Maybe they can get another 2-out knock from Freeman. Freddie lined out his first time up. To first and handled there by Goldschmidt. The inning is over. Braves strand a runner at second base after a leadoff double, and we go to the 4th. Game summary. A lot of early runs.
A lot of early runs. Got off to a quick start in the 1st inning. Arizona took a 1-0 lead on this double by the catcher Montero. Down the right field line, scored Justin Upton from first. The Braves answered the bottom of the first with a powering home run by Dan Uggla, a 2-run shot. Gave the Braves a lead, and then Brandon Beachy helped his cause with a 2-out single for his first career RBI, making it a 3-1 ball game, and that's where we stand.
Brandon has not walked a batter. He's struck out 4. And Justin Upton sends one high into left field. And now into foul territory where Prado makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. Especially with that guy, you love it. And here is Montero, who drove in the run in the first. Three runs, 5 hits for Atlanta, a run on 2 hits for the D-backs. 2 hits came back to back with 2 out in the first that produced the run. A lot of first pitch strikes from Brandon tonight, too. Job and got away with one there, 1-2. Final game of the homestand tomorrow. Tim Hudson against Josh Colementor. And if you haven't seen Colementor pitch, it's different.
Is that an endorsement? When you say he's different, is that an endorsement?
Not exactly.
Oh.
It's part of our Jameson Inn upcoming schedule. He's 7-7, and he got off to a real good start, but it almost looks like he's throwing it from behind his head almost. He comes so far over the top. Montero down on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Beachy. Here's 6'4", 245 or 50-pound tall Goldschmidt, who flied out his first time. They were describing his power as lumberjack power. I get it.
Yeah, he's a presence in that batter's box.
Out of Texas State University. Big swing. 1-1.
This is what they're talking about, that lumberjack power. There's a home run off of Tim Lincecum in San Francisco, and that ball is crushed in San Francisco. That ball went a long way. And then the other night in Philadelphia, same thing. Dead center field. So he's got some raw power.
1-2. Nine in a row set down by Brandon Beachy, and 2-2 to Goldschmidt.
You couldn't wait till the inning was over to mention that. There you go.
10 in a row set down by Beachy, and that's his 6th strikeout. Bottom of the 4th, Ross, Constanza, and Gonzalez due up for the Braves. 2 of this series. Good looking crowd at that. Braves up 3-1. David Ross, Jose Constanza, and Alex Gonzalez in the 4th. David was thrown out trying to bunt his way aboard his first time up. Miley's fastball's been around 90, 91, 92. Change up in a Butte, 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, his off-speed stuff's been good. It's been 2 fastballs that he's tried to get in and didn't get in that have been the difference for him. Like I said, I think that's just a little bit of the nerves and trying to overthrow. That's what he's got to do right there. If you're going to go in and you miss, you better make sure you miss in and either in or up where they can't do anything with it.
Gave up a leadoff double last inning, but got Chipper to line one right to Burrows at third. That helped get him out of the inning. And he strikes out Ross. That's 4 strikeouts. That'll make Dad happy. Wendell looks like he's got a good seat too, right there behind the screen.
It's got to be a lot of fun to watch your son pitch his first big league ball game. Sure, he's been all over creation watching him as a kid and in the minor leagues.
Did your dad make your first start in Houston?
They did, yes. I had 15 or 20 people there for the first one.
What a
they
thrill.
all followed me here.
Constanza singled. Came around to score on Beachy's hit. After he had moved to second on a ground out. And now behind 1-2. Say this for Miley, he's not wasting any time.
No, he's not. I like it. Give me the ball, let me go.
Two and two. Full count. And he walked him. And those last 3 pitches had to have come within like a 20-second span. And with 1 out and a runner at first, a reminder that Delta Airlines is a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. Braves will be getting on their Delta charter tomorrow after the game and heading to Chicago, where they open up a 4-game series against the Cubs at Wrigley Field on Monday. Gonzalez bounced out to third, his first time up. The walk to Constanza, the first of the night for Miley, and Jose's running, but Alex is swinging. Stay fair. Nope. Hooked it foul.
Fastball, he tried to go in again. Didn't get it there, and unfortunately, Gonzo couldn't keep it fair.
Constanza got a good jump, too, off the lefty. But as you said, Tommy, last night, Montero threw out Constanza and Bourne in the same game.
And I'll go on a limb and say you probably won't see that the rest of the year.
Popped him up. And Cowgill puts it away. 2 out.
And here's those 2 throws last night. Constanza first early in the game. Perfect throw right on the bag. And then Michael Bourne later in the game. Nice catch and tag there. And it's part of the reason why he was an all-star.
Yeah, that was one hopper. That had to be quick. Here's the hot-hitting Brandon Beachy. His first Major League RBI his last time up. And it was a bolt to left field. Nice recovery there by Montero. Constanza's not in a stealing mode here, certainly with the pitcher up there. Don't want to run the risk of stealing, getting caught, and having the pitcher lead off the next inning.
No, he's probably not going to be running unless he's 100% sure he gets a good read and he's going to make it.
One and 2 to Beachy. Miley's start that helped get him called up also made him the Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Week last week. 9 innings, a complete game 3 hitter, gave up 1 run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. And he racks up a strikeout here, which is his 5th tonight in his first big league start. His dad very proud, but the Braves lead it 3-1. For our McDonald's fan of the game, and you know, Tommy, there's a lot of pressure when you're the McDonald's fan of the game. You just can't have enough foam fingers and tomahawks.
No, you really can't. You got to have a lot in your arsenal. I mean, it's all about changing speeds and locations. I mean, you got to change colors on the foam finger and the tomahawk. I mean, you have to have options. All that while he's trying to eat Dippin' Dots too. It looks like.
Right.
So
he is a multifaceted fan of the game. Trying to figure out where his face paint went too. Sean Burroughs leads off for the Snakes in the 5th. Brandon Beachy is set down 10 in a row. Sean Burroughs marking a return to baseball after being out of the game. Always been a pretty good hitter, but it's not always that easy to get back and give somebody or have somebody give you a chance to get back. And I think he was, I got to ask for some help from Chan, but I think he was hitting over 400 at Reno when they called him up with over 100 at bats.
Why did he get out? Did he retire? Wasn't playing well?
Just enough room for Constanza. I think there were some off the field issues that he had to address. And it looks like he's gotten himself back on track.
Well, good for him. And like you say, fortunate that with all that going on, somebody was willing to give him a second chance. And so far, he seems to be making the most of it.
Kelly Johnson struck out his first time up. And for Kelly, his 131st strikeout. He is fourth in the league with most strikeouts. Sends that one to deep left center. Bourne says he's got it, and he tracks one down on the warning track. No substitute for speed out there. 2 down.
Now it's nice to have those guys that can run them down when you make a mistake. So they had shaded him over to the pull side of center field, and ball hung up a little bit, and he was able to run it down.
He's got other things to consider every night too. He's got different guys flanking him almost every night. Cowgill goes after the first pitch. It comes up empty. Now Constanza's been out there virtually every day, but he's been left and right. You got to remember where he is because of his speed. But it might be Prado on one night, might be Jason Hayward on another.
And it's interesting, even though you've got all your speed on the right side of the outfield, they're still shading guys that way. You know, there's a little bit more of a gap in left center field. I know there were times when I was playing, we had Andrew out there in the outfield and Klesko in left field, and then any number of speedy guys in right field. They always used to give Rhino a little bit less room to cover over there and spread those two speedy guys out, but they don't seem to be doing that with Bourne and Costanza.
Yeah, I can picture that big gap in left center when Andrew was out there. Or excuse me, in right center when he would move over to help Klesko out a little bit. 2-2. Cowgill grounded out his first time up. Curveball, and to the backhand of Alex, but it went right up his arm. That should be a base hit. I believe it will be. So that snaps a string of 12 in a row set down by Brandon Beachy, and we'll bring up Miley.
Ball took just a little bit of a higher hop. Didn't stay down into the glove and hit Alex on the wrist, and would have been nice for Brandon to get that out and have the pitcher lead off next inning, but he will be cleared here and at the top of the order, most likely coming up next inning. Don't want to discount the pitcher being in there. I mean,
right, but it will add to his pitch count a little bit, but he's controlled that tonight. He's had in the third, fourth, and fifth innings some relatively easy innings where he hadn't had to labor too much.
Yeah, I was just thinking too, where he's had a little bit of difficulty in his last few starts getting through that sixth inning. That boy, it'd be a nice boost for him to come out to start the sixth inning with the pitcher leading off, maybe help him get through that inning a little bit easier. But that won't be the case now.
Good pitch to the corner, and he's ahead of the pitcher 0-2. A ball and 2 strikes. One of the things that also hurt Brandon at times earlier this year were the long balls, and he's really cut down on those. He's only allowed 1 homer in his last 4 starts. Two and 2. Good news for the Giants, they've scored 2 runs. Bad news is they're going to need to score some more. Houston leads them 5-2 after 4 innings. Out of play, off the screen I should say, and back onto the field. Still 2 and 2. Diamondbacks have lost 3 in a row, but they haven't lost any ground.
Yeah, it's always good when that can happen. You certainly don't want to lose 3 games in a row, but if your opponents, the guys that are chasing you, are losing and you're knocking days off the calendar, then that's a good thing.
Ross couldn't hang on to that one. Still 2 and 2, and Miley's putting up a good fight here.
He's making Brandon work for this 3rd out in the 5th inning. Your dad's thinking, come on, hit one like you did in Little League.
Remember that one you hit over in Baton Rouge that night? Cowgill's got good speed, but again, the pitcher at the plate. And hard hit, and by Chipper. That one took a funny hop on Jones, and we'll see how they score that. Miley might have his first big league hit. I think the players and the umpire have decided it's a hit, so they've taken care of the scoring. Ball came up on Chipper. First career big league RBI for Beachy. First career big league hit for Miley. A night of first for him. Top of the order in Bloomquist, who's grounded out and struck out. And the tying runs aboard. Tough play, swinging bunt, but it'll roll foul. Diamondbacks had a great month of May. They didn't get off to a good start. They went 11-15 in April, but went 19-10 in May. And that's probably about the time you've been talking about, Tom, where Kirk Gibson and his staff began to make these guys realize, you know, you can win. It doesn't take that much more effort.
No, and last year's over and done with. This is the new year, new team. Let's go out and make something happen.
Go down to first, and the pitcher has to dive back.
Always picking on the rookies. If they catch Miley napping a little bit down there.
See, I like that. Even if they don't get him, even if they don't come close, it takes a little extra effort for him to dive back and get up.
Might take a half a step away from his lead, which could result in an out somewhere on the bases.
It started with 2 out, nobody on. Cowgill with a bad hop single off the wrist of Alex Gonzalez, and Miley a bad hop single over the glove of Chipper. Down the line, but out of play. really good crowd here tonight. I mean, we've got probably 40,000 or better tonight.
That month of May for them included, what, a 13 out of 14 winning streak. They lost one of the games in a doubleheader at Colorado, and other than that, they had won 13.
Everybody was walking. Everybody, that is, with Bill Miller.
It's one of those pitches that you watch on TV and you wonder, how did it not catch a part of the plate?
Great job by David Ross. Everybody was moving. 2-2. There it is. And Bloomquist didn't like that call. But Beachy's out of the inning, his 7th strikeout. And the Diamondbacks leave a couple. Up 3-1. Top of the order due up against Wade Miley. And we're going to check out our AT&T Uverse TV trivia question and see if we can come up with the answer. The Diamondbacks all-time leader in stolen bases. Who are you going with?
I don't. It's not him, and I don't know. It's not an outfielder. There's got to be a middle infielder somewhere that I can't remember.
I'm going to go O-Dog on this one. I'm going to go Orlando Hudson.
All right. I don't have a guess. See, I told you. I told you it's somebody we weren't thinking about.
Oh, we should have gotten him. Darn it.
I don't see enough of the Diamondbacks to remember their team well enough.
Well, that's pretty apparent since you hadn't offered no help.
I had no help. No guess. Sorry.
Tony Womack first, Chris Young second, then Eric Burns again.
Gonzo's 9th on the list. See? At least I was right about that.
Michael Bourne has struck out twice, once looking, once swinging against Miley. That's out of play, 1-1. First 4 innings for Miley, he has walked just 1. That was last inning. He struck out 5. And he'll have to hustle to beat Bourne to get over there, and he doesn't. Base hit.
We talked about this last night. I think it was when Constanza was on maybe and Bourne was up, or vice versa, about where the second baseman was playing. When you've got a pitcher, a left-handed pitcher that's fallen off the mound like that, the first baseman has zero chance of fielding that ball and getting back to the bag. That's where Kelly Johnson, or the second baseman, has to cheat a little bit, because he's got to become the guy that beats Michael Bourne to the bag. And with Kelly playing in his normal position, he's got no chance of getting over there.
Real good read by Bourne to take advantage of the lefty. Prado gets out of the way.
Sorry, Joe. I remember we had certain guys that bunted like Michael Bourne and what have you, that was our defensive shift, was that our second baseman would move in and over and knew that if there was a bunt laid down, he was going to have to be the guy to get the bag, because the pitcher wasn't going to get there and the first baseman wasn't going to get back to the bag.
Like a Brett Butler type.
Right, yep, Brett Butler, or Juan Pierre, guys like that you just knew the pitcher wasn't going to win a foot race.
2-0 to Prado, who doubled his last time up. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Three and 0. Chipper on deck. Team taking all the way, and it's ball 4. Good start to the inning, a base hit and a walk. Second walk issued by Miley, and Chipper will step in. He reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, was on base when Ugla homered, and then lined to third. Good play by Burrows in the third inning to rob him of a hit. Nice stop by Montero.
This is where he's got to collect himself a little bit. Sometimes that leadoff bunt single by the speedy guy and having to manage the running game can be a little bit unnerving. He didn't throw anything close to Martin. Now he's got one of his idols in the batter's box.
He just put a good rip on one and fouled it back.
Which, that's why I've said before, sometimes in the right certain circumstances, situations, as a pitcher, you'd almost rather give up a leadoff home run and be done with it, because you don't have to worry about managing the running game. You're not worried about having a big inning. You just give up the home run, you move on, you go to the next guy. Now he's in a situation where he's trying to avoid the big inning and control the running game and everything else that's going on out there.
Diamondbacks bullpen gets busy. Ziegler begins to throw the side armor. Line, base hit. Bourne around third. He'll score easily. On his way to third is Prado, and he's in there. Chipper stays hot. His 57th RBI, and it's 4-1.
And again, not a bad pitch. Fastball down outside third of the plate, knee high, but Chipper's got the swing going right now and drives that ball into right center field, and Warren scores easily, and good base running by Martin.
Pretty good throw too by Upton, right on the money. He's a good player. First and third. A run in, nobody out. Ugla's already homered tonight. And here comes Kirk Gibson. And that's that slow walk you hate to see, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one that he's not asking you how you're doing and what you think.
Again, that's Miley's dad, Wendell. Bill Miller trying to move things along, but Kirk just decided to have a conversation with Bill. How'd you think he did, Bill? How's his stump? What would you do here?
I don't know, Kirk. I really think we need to do something one way or the other. Oh, okay.
Probably told Wade, you know, I wouldn't have taken you out, but Miller said we should. He may be behind by 3 runs, but he's top-notch in his dad's book.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by AT&T Uverse TV, by McDonald's, and by Toyota.
Beautiful skyline of Atlanta. And the Braves leading 4-1. A good night so far at Turner Field in front of a packed house. A run in and nobody out in the 5th inning. Runners on the corners, and Brad Ziegler, the Submariner, comes on to pitch.
Submariner is right. He's on for the 8th time with the Diamondbacks this season. A little bit of the specialist type guy. Probably in here to try and get Dan Uggla in some way, shape, or form, and we'll see if he faces Freddie Freeman or not.
Came over from Oakland, where he was 3-2 with a 2.39 ERA and 1 save. Prado at third, Chipper at first. And misses badly with that one, 1-0. I don't remember a guy in recent days that dropped down this far, Tommy. I mean, got to go back to the Kent Colbys and Dan Quisenberries.
I had one actually when I was with the Mets. He went to Baltimore. Chad Bradford. He's the only one that I can think of that was this drastic. You see a lot of guys nowadays that are maybe sidearm, but not kind of the submarine style anymore.
He's behind Uggla, 2-0. And no matter where you throw it from, behind Uggla, 2-0 is not a good place to be.
No.
Pretty good pitch, but ball 3. And Freddie Freeman on deck.
And left-handers have not been kind to Mr. Ziegler, so sure he doesn't want Freddie up there with the bases loaded.
Oh, he chased ball 4. 3-1. There's ball 4. And here comes a left-handed batter. And the bases are loaded and nobody out. Ow.
Yeah, that's not certainly not where the Diamondbacks wanted to be right now. Bases loaded and looking at that matchup.
Falls behind Freeman. 0 for 2 tonight. He's hit the ball sharply twice. Line to left, grounded to first. Sends a fly ball to left. That ought to be deep enough to score Prado. Parra comes up throwing and makes it close. Great effort by Parra, but the run scores, and it's a sacrifice fly for Freeman, and the Braves lead 5-1. Should never count Parra out after watching him throw out a couple of Braves in Arizona in one inning.
Yeah, he threw out a couple out there, made a nice throw on a play last night, and here I think made that a lot closer than any of us thought it was going to be. Freddie Freeman got it out there far enough, pushing the Braves lead a little bit.
61st RBI for Freeman. If that throws a little more to the line, they got a definite shot at Martin. David Ross has tried to bunt his way aboard, was thrown out. He's also struck out. Got the start tonight. Takes ball one. 5-1 Atlanta. That run charged to Wade Miley. Hooked hard, but caught and dropped it. They're going to call it a catch. They're going to call it a catch that Burrows was taken out of his glove. Sean wasn't sure about that. He ran to the bag to make sure he got the force out. But Ross hit a rocket, and another good catch by Burrows.
I'm not so sure. That might, a lot of times you see guys drop this on purpose. I'm not so sure he did. Yeah, good call. It was on the transfer. He was trying to make a all-in-one motion throw to double up Chipper on second.
Constanza has singled and walked, scored a run, been on base twice. He'll try to add to that left-handed misery for Ziegler. We showed you last night some numbers on the Diamondbacks, if you were with us, about what a good come-from-behind team they've been all year. And among the league leaders in a lot of different offensive categories from the 7th inning on. So you need to keep adding on.
Yeah, I got bumped out of the top spot last night, right, by the Red Sox in terms of comeback wins.
Yep. Constanza was taking all the way, 2-1. Out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, and 2 in. Jose's got that habit after foul balls of licking his bat.
I say, don't do this at home, kids.
Oh, got a piece of it. Stayed alive.
Butt was going one way, that was going the other.
It's about the only way you can reach that outside pitch. A little too wide there. Full count. Chipper and Uggla will be off with the pitch. There go the runners. Swing and a miss. Ziegler and the Diamondbacks out of the inning, but not before the Braves put 2 more on the board. They had a couple of hits and lead 2. We've played 5 innings. Atlanta up by 4. For the 6th inning, and here's our Zaxby's indescribably good play, and it's been the good pitching of Beachy tonight.
Well, he's continuing his hot hand, locating the fastball. Has a good breaking ball going tonight as well. Just really done a nice job of getting after these hitters and letting the Braves offense go to work. So he got 2 again here in the 5th, so it's another opportunity for that shutdown inning.
No walks, 7 strikeouts, again to what you've been talking about with his walk to strikeout ratio too. Parra, Upton, and Montero, the heart of their order up here in the 6th, and that 6th inning's been kind of problematic at times too.
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit throughout the course of the game. You see innings 1 through 3, 4 through 6, he gets stronger, and then 6th inning on, he's had his troubles. And you know, hopefully with a 4-run lead here, or a relatively low pitch count, he can just get out there to be aggressive and get through this portion of the game. And a lot of times that's a big adjustment for pitchers. You get to that 3rd time through the lineup, and your brain starts to think, okay, well, I can't get these guys out the same way. And a lot of times you can. You know, if they're not showing you they're gonna hit you or beat you at your game, you don't have to make any adjustments.
That changeup left upstairs, but Bourne will track it down. One out, and Upton the batter. He singled and scored in the 1st and sent a fly ball to left that was caught by Prado in foul territory. When I was talking about Brandon early in the game, and I said something about sometimes he has trouble putting guys away because he doesn't have one great pitch. I don't mean for that to sound like I'm underestimating him, because he's got really good pitches, at least 3 real good pitches and 1 pretty good one, and that he's still working on, and his changeup. Tough play for Chipper. Woo, nice play.
Nice play.
Got some spring in his legs on that one.
No, I know what you're saying. I think, you know, you look at most pitchers, and when you go over their scouting report, as we see that play by Chipper ranging a long way to his left, well, you go over their scouting report, and you talk about their pitches, you talk about their stuff, but then you talk about what's his out pitch. And most guys when they get to that level of having a lot of success, they have that one pitch that they go to. And you're right. In Brandon's case, he doesn't necessarily have that pitch, and it's not because he doesn't have it. It's just because all his pitchers are all really good.
That's
so Yeah, so he doesn't necessarily have to have one way to punch guys out, which is not a bad thing. But I think in his mind, he has to recognize a little bit better how he got to a 2-strike count, and that will do a better job of helping him identify what that 2-strike pitch becomes in a given sequence. You know, he might get 2 swings and misses on fastballs in and go 0-2, and it's like, okay, well, you probably, if you're going to finish him off in there with strike 3, you're probably going to have to show him something soft in a way to get him off that. You know, and sometimes as a young guy, it's hard to recognize where those sequences are, how they present themselves within a given hitter in order to attack that pitch right away rather than eventually getting to that point where you're able to make a pitch.
And I would say that sometimes, to back up what you're saying, on that one pitch to set up the other, sometimes you don't ever get to the other one because the setup pitch was not a good enough pitch.
Right, exactly. And you know, sometimes too, I think that pitch, that term a waste pitch on 0-2 is a little bit overused. You can throw an 0-2 pitch with a purpose. I mean, there's no purpose most of the time in throwing a fastball over a guy's head or a 50-foot curveball. Guys aren't going to swing at that pitch. It serves no purpose. But you sure can throw a fastball, like I said earlier in the game. You sure can throw a fastball. If you want to get the guy out on a fastball in, you can throw a fastball in knowing that, hey, if I miss, I'm missing in. And if I don't get the strikeout pitch right here, it's serving the purpose of getting this guy off the plate. So now I can do whatever I want to do on the next pitch. I can go hard or soft away. I can go hard back in there. You know, it becomes a little bit of a cat and mouse game, whereas, you know, I think sometimes in young pitchers' minds, they think, okay, well, 0-2, I can't give up a hit on this pitch.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw this pitch. Okay, well, I didn't give up a hit, so it must be a good pitch. Well, no, I think that 0-2 pitch can still serve a very good purpose, even though you're not throwing a pitch that the batter can hit. You know, it's like Ted Simmons told me years ago when I played with him. I forget who I was facing, and I said to him, you know, I knew he was looking for this certain pitch and da-da-da, but I just didn't want to throw it because I knew he was looking for it. And he said, well, you know, you can still throw him that pitch if he's looking for it. Just throw it where he can't hit it. And I had never thought that way before. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make is, okay, if you know you want to get the guy out on a fastball in, then maybe throw one in there to push him off the plate and get him thinking, okay, he came in there, he's not going to double up on me. Or if you want to get him out on a fastball in, show him something away that makes him lean out over the plate a little bit. So now he's not quite so sure where that inside corner is anymore.
Good stuff. 2-out walk to Montero. Brings up Goldschmidt again, a very dangerous big guy. He's flied out and struck out. And he puts a charge in that one to center. Bourne on the run. Will the park hold it? Yes, and what a catch! What a catch by Michael Bourne! Woo!
Speed is a beautiful thing.
Wow! And man, did he hit the wall hard and hang on. This crowd on their feet. of the sixth because of our Toyota play of the game, and what a play it was.
Much to no one's surprise, this being a Toyota play of the game. Michael Bourne going a long way and went as far as the ballpark would let him. Crashed into the wall, made a beautiful play to save at least a run and end the inning.
Alex Gonzalez swings at the first pitch and pops to center. Cowgill has it.
And as a pitcher, I've said it 100 times, it's a beautiful thing knowing you got those jackrabbits out there in the outfield that can run some down when you make a mistake.
Boy, oh boy. Well, Beachy's night is over. Brooks Conrad will pinch hit for him. .241 for Brooks Conrad. 3 of his homers have been as a pinch hitter. Six really good innings for Brandon on a hot, muggy night. 4 hits and 1 run. One and 2 to Conrad. Brooks pinch hit last night and flied out. No, he didn't. 2 and 2. Braves got 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fifth. And Brooks has worked a full count with that man Michael Bourne on deck. Oh, backdoor breaking ball. Brooks gave up on it and gets rung up. Second strikeout for Ziegler. That wasn't a breaking ball.
No. Backdoor sinker. Pitcher's pitch. Could have gone either way. That time, Diamondbacks got the benefit of the call.
Bourne got a nice hand as he steps in. 1 for 3 tonight.
Scored a run and saved at least one.
Up the middle, base hit. Two for 4 on the night. And here's Martin Prado, who's had a perfect night. 2 hits and a walk. He's scored a run.
Unless Ziegler's got something else in his repertoire in terms of his delivery, it's not going to take long for Michael Bourne to be on the move.
No. That's when Montero hopes that when he does run, he stumbles. Back easily. Looking for his 46th stolen base. Good percentage. Anything over 80% is good. Just about threw that one away. This is when I would go.
And all this is taking away attention to the man that's sitting in the batter's box.
I found that when a pitcher would throw over to keep me from stealing and almost throw one away, he was very reluctant to come over there on the next one for fear of throwing it away.
That, and I don't know that I've ever seen anybody throw over there 4 times in a row.
Throwing some sailors over there. Hard hit down the line. Watch Bourne go. Going to be waved home. He'll score standing up. Prado with another double. And it's 6-1. You're right, Tommy. He wasn't paying enough attention to the man at the plate.
Well, you've got 2 outs. You got a right-handed hitter in the box, and they're hitting 200 off of you. To me, that's my focus right there. I've shown Michael Bourne that I'm going to pay attention. I'm not just going to forget about him. But the 2 outs, to me, your full focus has got to be on that hitter. And paid so much attention to Michael and left the pitch up in the zone, and Martin didn't miss it.
A 3-hit night for Prado. He's been on base 4 times, and he's up to 49 RBIs. And that's going to do it for Ziegler. We'll check out the new Diamondback pitcher when we come back. Ball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. 6-1 Atlanta, still batting here in the 6th inning after a little 2-out lightning. 2-out single by Bourne. RBI double by Prado, and Brian Shaw, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Diamondbacks.
And we've talked about it so often since Michael Bourne has gotten here, and we've seen it so often in recent games where that simple little 2-out walk or a 2-out base hit, whether it's Bourne or Constanza, how it leads to 2 or 3 runs coming through in the inning. And I think that, to me, is the element that really has changed this Braves offense.
Chipper has a base hit and an RBI tonight. He's also scored a run, 1 for 3. Good cut there at a 94 fastball. Shaw is in his second stint with the big league club. Back and forth to Reno and then back to Arizona. 14 strikeouts and 16 plus innings. He's ahead of Chipper 1-2. That's rocked foul into the Casino Moon club level. That catch by the fan down the right field line tonight, though, that's catch of the year by a fan.
It is. Could have been our Toyota catch of the game. But.
Yep. 2-2. Guy there
Still
in the
tough.
Braves jersey. If you missed it, check it out. His buddy, where'd it go?
Like, no way, you got that.
Line, base hit for Chipper again. Prado's going to be waved home. Here comes Parra's throw again. He is out at the plate. Parra won that one. Another hit for Chipper. The Braves get another run and came this close to getting another. Oh. I don't know about that one. We'll have to talk about it when we come back. Close to being 7-1, but Gerardo Parra back in May. Watch these two throws, Tom.
Not often you see a guy get an assist when he's got his back to the field going against the wall, but threw Chipper out there.
Now, this is in the same inning.
That's an absolute laser from an outfielder being on the move. So he had that earlier in the year. Got a couple opportunities tonight to test him, and Martin tested him in the 5th inning and got the best of it, and tried again here in the 6th. And
after careful consideration, we think that Montero, at least I do, we think he got him on the front leg on the cap. We saw the glove move, and a good call by Bill Miller.
Yeah, I think it was a good call. Well, hopefully they'll get a chance to settle this before the night is over.
George Sherrill on to work for the Braves against Sean Burrows. George's first work since the 13th. And with that, the Braves make the AT&T call to the bullpen.
Sherrill's numbers on for the 49th time, and the 6-1 lead, a good opportunity to get some work. Hopefully give those big three out there a little rest.
And we did look up the numbers on Sean Burroughs. He was hitting .412 at Reno and 102 at bats. He had 42 hits, 11 doubles, 2 triples, 2 homers, 25 RBIs, and an on-base percentage of .450. So good for him. He was born here in Atlanta when his dad was playing here. And he will be 31 years old in September 12th. And again, if you weren't with us last night, his Little League World Series team won the World Championship 2 years in a row from Long Beach, California.
I wonder how many times that's happened. Jan?
For the U.S., not too many. George Sherrill slipped a little bit, wasn't able to get over there and help out, but Freddie didn't need him, one away. And with one out, a reminder to join us for our first ever Tweet Up at Turner Field, Thursday, September 1st. I hadn't heard about this. I'm really jacked up about this. Here's some special Braves guests and an exclusive Q&A session, plus all Tweet Up packs include an outfield ticket and at Braves Tweet Up t-shirt and 2 drink tickets. Visit braves.com/tweetup today.
I can't keep up with the social media.
It's tough. I understand.
It's hard enough having a cell phone.
Kelly Johnson 0 for 2.
I don't know that I want all that many people to know what I'm thinking, or I really care what they're thinking.
I know I don't care what they're thinking. Swing and a miss. 1-1, or make it 0-2. Chan's constantly trying to get me to tweet with him and just can't do it.
He's tweeting right now. I can't believe Glavin's making me look up how many teams have won back-to-back Little League World Series.
Kelly lines one foul. Nice stop by the ball boy, but he dropped one.
Not in there anymore.
Hey, hey.
Gotta go get it.
Hey. There you go. Got a little help.
Now somebody's saying, hey, give me that one in your pocket.
Right. 1-2 the count.
Oh, see? That's what makes Chan one of the best.
Tried a front door breaking ball and didn't get the call. 2-2.
Monterrey, Mexico. Back-to-back Little League World Series champions in 1957 and 58. I assume that's 19, right? Not 18, right?
Down the line, but foul. You know who was on that team?
No idea.
Okay, I know you didn't. You know, remember Alex Trevino, who played for the Braves?
I do.
And a broadcaster, Spanish language broadcaster for the Astros. His brother Bobby Trevino was on that back-to-back championship team.
No relation to Lee?
No. It's a second. Ugla throws out Johnson. 2 down. Cowgill the batter. He's 1 for 2. Six runs on 10 hits for Atlanta tonight. 1 homer. That was the guy that was in your picture there, Ugla. He had a 2-run shot in the first. 1 run, 4 hits for the Diamondbacks, and their run came in the first inning when they got 2 of their 4 hits. Those 2 hits were back-to-back, and then the other 2 were back-to-back in the 5th inning from Cowgill and the starting pitcher Miley. And Ryan Roberts is in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Shaw if Cowgill reaches. Took a little off but missed, and Georgia's fallen behind 3-1. And a 2-out walk. And Roberts will hit for Shaw. Freddie Gonzalez waiting for the announcement to make sure that Roberts had been announced. He's got Christian Martinez ready in the bullpen. The Braves will make another pitching change. We'll talk about Christian when we come back. Inning and 2 out, runner on. Another AT&T call to the bullpen for Atlanta, and Christian Martinez will come in and try to finish up the 7th.
Last pitched on the 17th in the San Francisco series. Pitched 2 innings in that one. A walk and a strikeout, on for the 30th time this year. 1-2 with a 3.42, and done a nice job for the Braves. He's had a couple of outstanding outings in long relief, and really been a good addition to the bullpen.
With a 5-run lead, if he can get out of this inning and maybe work another, that saves some wear and tear on the pen as well. Hard hit foul by Roberts, who played last night. Started at third base, went 0 for 3 with a walk. He is 1 for his last 14. Cowgill, a fast runner at first. And 2-1.
Well, certainly don't want to be walking guys with a 6-1 lead in the 7th inning. Throw strikes, make them put it in play, make them hit their way on. Well, it's easier said than done sometimes.
Took a little off and got him to get out in front. 2-2. And got him. Good job by Martinez. Comes in and strikes out Roberts. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. Braves are up by 5. Pretty good action at Turner Field tonight. Here's our Academy Sports and Outdoors game summary. We got Wade Miley on there as a tip of the cap to the kid making his Major League debut.
Yeah, throw him some love. Braves fan growing up, making his debut here tonight. And, you know, hey, showed some good stuff. I think there's a lot to work with there. I'm sure Charles Nagy's excited about the opportunity to refine some things for him. Brandon Beachy continued his great work. Dan Ugla with the big 2-run homer. And Martin Prado back out there tonight after a night off, and the rest did him good.
Zach Duke on to pitch for the Diamondbacks, and Dan Ugla takes a strike. An ERA of almost 5 for the former Pirate. One other thing on Miley, he got his first big league hit tonight too.
Yeah, had a lot of first tonight. He'll remember that hit. He'll remember that home run he gave up. And he'll remember this night, regardless of the outcome.
Ugla was the guy that hit the home run in the first inning. He's 1 for 2 with a walk tonight. Full count now to Ugla. And he sends one to deep center. On the run, Cowgill, gone! Home run again for Ugla. his 29th.
Hitters count. Sat on a fastball and got another one down the middle. That one dead center and beautiful extension.
Man, oh man. Another multi-home run game for him too, and he's up to 65 RBIs. That wasn't hit very high.
No.
Freddie Freeman bounces one into the Braves dugout. 1-1. One and two the count. That sacrifice fly for Freeman, his 61st RBI of the year. Delta Airlines on deck hitter is David Ross, in his 37 starts this year, a 280 average. That is real solid when you think about how many times he has gaps in between starts.
Well, that's one of the real luxuries that we've talked about so much that this Braves team has. When you have a guy like Brian McCann that's going to be out there day after day, it's nice knowing that every now and then you can plug Rossi in and he's going to do a lot of good things for you, or if Brian got hurt, then he can fill in and do a good job, which he did while Brian was on the DL. So, you know, he's not your typical backup catcher in that he's all defense and no offense. He does a lot on both sides of the ball to help the team win when he gets the opportunity.
Another full count and another fly ball to deep center. Cowgill going back. We've gone back to back. His 17th. Fifth time the Braves have gone back to back this year. 8-1 Atlanta.
Fastball middle. Another pretty swing from Freddie. Drove that ball into right center field.
I'll say. Duke had given up 4 homers in 68 innings. He's given up 2 without an out this inning. '62 RBIs for Freeman. And oddly enough, Zach Duke had gotten ahead of both guys 0-2, went back to a full count before he gave up the homers. And walks Ross, does old Zucker. Stanza 1 for 2 with a walk. He has scored a run. Milling about in the Diamondbacks dugout, trying to figure out who to go to next in the bullpen. He stands up the middle. Bloomquist to Johnson to first. Double play. The umpires over behind the tarp did not like that call. But no argument from Terry Pendleton.
Yeah, it looked like he got him by maybe half a step or even less.
Tough guy to double up, but they got him, and Alex Gonzalez would like to join the hit parade. 0 for 3 tonight. Braves have 12 hits. Alex has double digits in homers this year, 10, 41 RBIs. Up the middle, off the glove of Bloomquist, and Alex does indeed join the hit parade. 13th hit of the night for Atlanta. And Christian Martinez will hit for himself. He had a big hit earlier this year in an extra inning game, a double. And it drove in a couple of runs. Puts it in play, but that'll end the inning, but not before the Braves go back to back. Ugla with the first one, his second of the night, his 29th of the year. And then Freddie Freeman right behind him, his 17th of the year. Braves on top, 8-1.
Presented by authority of Atlanta National League Baseball Club Incorporated, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Braves.
I like the routine the girls have got going on up there in the upper deck.
Yeah, everybody has a good time when it's a 8-1 ball game.
Top of the order. Good to see that we've got a secret agent in the crowd. Willie Bloomquist 0 for 3 tonight. That's different. To right field. And caught. 1 out. I had a note here tonight, and I failed to get it in before he came out of the game, but it's not too late to wish a happy birthday to Sean Hostetler, who's a good friend of Brandon Beachy's. Brandon wanted to wish him a happy birthday, so Sean, sorry we didn't get it in while Brandon was out there, but happy birthday. And I'd say it was a pretty good game to celebrate on.
Yeah, Brandon gave him a good effort for his birthday, as usual.
Another liner, this one right at Prado. Quickly 2 out in the 8th. I was a little short on my 40,000 prediction here. 39,294 here tonight. Terrific crowd.
Good crowd.
They've been treated to some offensive fireworks and good starting pitching from Beachy again, in line for his 6th win. Justin Upton has one of the 4 hits tonight for the D-backs and scored their only run in the first.
Braves get no help in the division tonight, but plenty of help in the wild card. San Francisco down 7-3 and St. Louis lost. So
yeah, Matt Garza fired a shutout today for the Cubs at the Cardinals. 2 hopper to Alex and an easy inning for Christian Martinez. Diamondbacks go 1-2-3. Top of the order due up for Atlanta. Tom, let's check out some scores around the rest of the league.
We talked about that game earlier. Milwaukee with 4 runs in the 9th comes back and beat the Mets 11-9. Colorado in 13, 7-6 over the Dodgers. The Cubs giving the Braves some help, 3-0 over the Cardinals. Pittsburgh 5-3 over Cincinnati. Houston 7-5 now in the top of the 9th. The Giants are trying to come back, and Philadelphia leading Washington 5-0.
Uh-oh. Fan on the field. Take us a minute to get that cleaned up. So while they take care of business in the outfield, we'll look at the wild card standings. And maybe the Giants were motivated, Tom, by the score they see here in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's a offensive. That's a month's worth of runs, it seems like, for the Giants tonight, scoring 5 runs. But you see there, they're 7 back. St. Louis 8 back. So the Braves are in a good position. Both those teams that have to get real hot going down the stretch. And the Braves' schedule is in their favor, no question about it. 17 games at home.
Yeah, and only 11 against teams with 500 or better records, and that's 6 of them against the Phillies.
Yeah, 6 of them against the Phillies, which, you know, you still obviously are not giving up hope on catching the Phillies, but, you know, they're not feeling too bad about the position they're in now either with the wild card.
I know a fan that's not going to like his position tonight in the pokey.
See the officer talking to him now, kind of throwing his hands up in the air, probably asking him the same thing I would ask him. Why would you want to do that? Can't be worth it.
Yeah, and what are your parents going to say when you get that one phone call? Knucklehead. 0-1 to Michael Bourne.
It was a nice tackle anyway by the security guard.
Yeah, it was. Stripped him up. And they can get off the field now as the game resumes. 0-2 to Michael, who is 2 for 4. He struck out his first 2 times up, but he has singled and scored each of his last 2 times up. To first. And Goldschmidt will handle that. We've got some defensive changes, too, for the Diamondbacks. And we'll try to get them to you in order. I know that Bloomquist has gone from short out to left field. Cody Ransom is now the shortstop. And we got a new, and Parra went to right field. And we got a new catcher. And that's former Brave Henry Blanco. As Martin Prado steps in, trying to continue a perfect night tonight. A single, 2 doubles, and a walk. He has scored once. He's driven 1 in. Zach Duke ahead of him, 0-2. Get out of play. It will. Martin's had a perfect night, 3 for 3, and his average has gone up 5 points. 277. That will get over by the Braves dugout and into the dugout. To short. Ransom tested, throws him out, and Martin 3 for 4. And a big hand for Chipper, who's had another good night. 2 singles in 4 trips, and he has scored a run, and he's also driven 1 in. His average also up to 277. If you haven't heard the news, he has said he is definitely playing next year. There's also an option on Chipper for 2013, but he said we'll think about that next year.
Yeah, cross that bridge when you get to it.
Yeah. That one off his foot.
And right now he might be rethinking.
He'll have all day tomorrow to rest that one. Supposed to get a day off tomorrow.
How many career hits does Chip have now?
Over 2,500.
2,500. So
his quote was, he said, I don't think I'm going to scare 3,000 hits or 500 homers, but he said, I'm definitely going to play next year. Two and 2.
If he plays 2 more years, he could get to 500 homers.
Yeah. Braves go in order in the 8th. Braves played some long ball tonight. They lead it 8-1.
Braves lead this one 8-1, and we showed you a graphic before the game. The Braves were second in the National League in home runs since the All-Star break, and with their 3 home runs here tonight, they now lead the National League in home runs. And here's your first one. Dan Uggla, a 2-run shot deep into left center field off of Wade Miley. Gave the Braves a 2-1 lead. And then Dan Uggla with his second home run of the night. That one to left center field, and then Freddie Freeman followed that up with a home run of his own. For the third Braves home run of the night. Lots of love, lots of hugs. Everything's going well.
The AT&T call to the bullpen for the Braves to finish it up. Scott Linebrink on in the ninth. Cody Ransom just came into the game, and he steps in there swinging. Seems one a mile high to center. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Linebrink. Scott could use a good inning. His ERA has taken a hit in his most recent outings. August 14th against the Cubs, did not record an out, gave up 2 runs. Worked an inning against the Giants 3 days ago, gave up 2 more. And that was right after he'd come back from the disabled list.
He was throwing the ball well before he went on the disabled list, and trying to find that form again. And the Diamondbacks are not buying into the we're down, let's take a strike mentality. They've made 4 outs in the last 7 pitches.
Goldschmidt tonight 0 for 3. He's the guy that hit the ball to the wall in center that Bourne made the fabulous catch on. Good play all around tonight from Atlanta. Starting pitching, bullpen, offense, defense. Couple outs away from going 6-3 so far on this homestand, with 1 to play tomorrow. Chipper stayed in the game, although he was crying the blues to Dan Uggla when he brought his glove out to him after that foul ball off his toe. Struck him out. Good fastball there from Linebrink. 1 more out to get. And Sean Burrows will be the batter. He's 0 for 3. Final in Houston, the Astros beat the Giants 7-5. So the Diamondbacks can't lose any ground, but the Braves wild card lead goes to 8 games if they can get the out here. Lined up the middle, base hit. It's not over yet. Kelly Johnson will get another at bat. He's 0 for 3. After a 3-hit night last night. Kelly up there hacking away, 0-1. Tim Hudson against Josh Colmentor tomorrow. Looks like the Braves will be going for the sweep. We're on the air at 1 o'clock with Braves Live. First pitch, 1:35. Sunday Braves on Fox Sports South. And the Diamondbacks down to their last strike, and this big crowd of over 39,000 folks on their feet. Struck him out. Oh, no, a foul ball that got David Ross.
Yeah, we saw that last night with Hallion, and with the new design on those masks, you don't see the ball get up there.
No. That is, I mean, twice in 2 nights. That'll rattle your teeth. Like he's okay. Still 0-2 to Johnson. Out of play. Braves looking for their 40th win at home. One and two. The 1-2 pitch to Kelly Johnson. 2-2. Now the 2-2. Johnson fighting to stay alive. Diamondbacks 1 strike away from their 4th straight loss and a stretch where they haven't lost any ground. Another 2-2. In the air, this ought to do it. Prado under it, has it, and the Braves beat up on the Diamondbacks tonight. 8-1 the final, and while the offense was outstanding tonight with 3 more home runs, another great effort from Brandon Beachy. He gets the win and goes to 6-2, and Tom and I will talk about him when we come back.